19 Council. We will call the meeting to order at 7:30, and Administrator Bergman, please call the roll.
Stingline.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
O'Day.
Here.
Stunek.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Pritchett.
Here.
Bevins.
Here.
And Bedot.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4 is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by O'Day.
Second.
Second by Pritchett. Any discussion? Hearing none. We're all here. We can do a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item 5 is the consent calendar. Notice to the public that all matters listed are considered routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless good cause is shown prior to the time the council votes on the motion to be adopted by roll call. Is there a motion to adopt the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Pritchett, second by Chairman Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none, Administrator Bergman, please call the roll.
Stingline.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
O'Day.
Yes.
Stunek.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Pritchett.
Yes.
And Bevins.
Yes, we are on to number 6, Community Member of the Month. Mayor Bedot, are you handling this one?
I believe so. I believe I have this one. So this month we want to go ahead and thank a member of our community that has been stepping up for many, many years. Dale Parks is an individual that has served the city in many, many different ways over the last 17 years, including the City Council, the Economic Development Authority, the Civil Service Commission, Housing and Redevelopment Authority, Transportation Advisory Committee, and the Park Board. And Dale has
center.
And the center, yes. Dale is somebody that has just stepped up to the plate again and again and again. And he just recently had to step down from the Park Board because he is moving outside of our city. And so we wanted to thank him with this award. And I had asked Ms. Jennifer Berkman here, if she would maybe speak just briefly because she had the opportunity to work with him quite a bit.
And so I did, and what a treat it's been to work with Dale. Actually, he was the chair of the Brainerd HRA board when I was hired as the executive director. So he was the one that I was talking to about arranging to move up here and everything. And one of the things that I've always appreciated about Dale, and he was on the HRA board for several years, was Dale's sense of humor. If you know anything about Dale, he's kind of the king of puns and just such a dry sense of humor. You never knew when it was coming, and he'd always make whatever group he was with laugh. So what an asset I think Dale has been to the city of Brainerd. And just on a personal note, I sure appreciated all of the leadership and guidance he provided to me.
Absolutely, and I think there's been plenty of opportunity where he could be listed as Community Member of the Month, but this is a great kind of bookend to his service with us. I wanted to read this super fast from our Park Board President, Mr. Kevin Yeager. Dale Parks has been a longtime loyal servant to the city of Brainerd. His wisdom, loyalty, and foresight will leave a long-lasting impact on our fine city. The Parks Board could not be more crestfallen, good word, with the news of his moving on, and wish him the best with all his future endeavors. And just from my own standpoint, I can attest to working with Dale on the Park Board as well, but Dale was actually my baseball coach when I was in Bronco baseball here in Brainerd. So that's how far Dale goes back in serving the community. And I'll tell you what, if one of your ace baseball players goes on to become the mayor, that says something about your coaching ability. So Dale Parks, I just want to say thank you, our Community Member of the Month.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Dale Parks. Next up is presentations and update from the Library Board, Ms. Mary Cope. Let's see if she's on line at all. I'm not seeing her there.
She's going to wait till 9 o'clock.
She thinks it's a midnight meeting.
Okay, we'll set aside this agenda item, and if Mary joins us, then we'll certainly allow her to give her update. So we'll hold off on item 7, that's the library board update. We will move on to council committee reports. 8, that's number 8. 8A is Safety and Public Works Committee Chairman Mike O'Day.
Yes, we have 3 items tonight, 2 motions, or 2 action items, and 1 informational. First item is a request to approve certain tax forfeit parcels as non-conservation status and approve sale. And I so move.
Second.
We have a motion by O'Day, a second by Pritchett. Any discussion? Nope. Hearing none, we can vote by roll call. All in favor? No?
We can vote voice.
Voice vote.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. That's what I meant
That's
to
what he was
say.
thinking, but that's not what he said.
Yeah. All right. All in favor of the request to approve certain tax forfeit parcels as non-conservation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Please continue.
Item number 2 is a request to approve the event application for the Lakes Area Music Festival Block Party, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by O'Day, second by T. Erickson. Any discussion?
Yes, this is a
Chairman O'Day.
music festival on August 12th. They are going to take for one day, I believe is, from 3:30 to 9 p.m. They're going to be in the Laurel Street parking lot. There's a lot more to this event, but this is the part that they had to apply for with the city. That is about it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Please proceed.
Yes, and the most important item of the evening. The Name a Snowplow initiative has now narrowed down from about 85 names for each of the 8 items listed, down to initially 10 for each, and tonight we narrowed it down to our top 3. So Kelly, I'm sure you want to know which the top 3 names
I
are for
know.
each one. No, the top 3.
I know the top 3 and I know the top 1, but I'm the chairman. I'm supposed to know this stuff. I'll just keep it quiet for now and let you carry your thunder.
So we're going to move forward with the top 3 and put those up for a vote. So I'll just go through the top 3. Mack truck number 1, plow with wing. And that name was entered, by the way. We have Chauncey, or as some people might call it, Chonky. We thought it was Chauncey. Bartholomew Blizzard Blaster and Kirby Truckett. For the second Mack truck, we have Snokio Drift, Blizzard Wizard, and Fran Truckington. I think we can see the pattern of what's going to win here for those 2. For the snow launcher that we have Catalina Snow Mixer, Num 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 Num, and the Spirit of Carl Showalter.
Woo.
The Sterling plow with a wing, we have Sir Plows a Lot, Plow Now Brown Cow, and Salt and Sandy. Moving to the back, we have the single plow, dump truck, undercover FBI van number 113. We've been plowing to reach you about your car's extended warranty, and Cousin Eddie. The road grader, top 3, Grader Minnesota, Slim Grady, and Scrapey McScraperson. the John Deere with a broom, Flanders, and Broom Goes the Dynamite, and my favorite, the Tar Tickler. And our final plow, Pretty Good Snowplow, Frank the Tank, and Petunia. End of report.
What happens next? How does it get? Tell everybody.
We're gonna put these online on a Survey Monkey, kind of like we did for the voting for the naming. We're gonna put the top 3 on there, and the public will have a couple weeks to put in their votes. And the number 1 for each piece of equipment will go on a sticker on that piece of equipment. And this is something that we're gonna continue, I believe, going into the future, Kelly.
Mike, are you? When did you start drinking?
Plenty of water.
That's excellent.
I won't tell him.
I would have asked Pritchett, but everybody who knows what it's like to be a teacher knows it's 7 in the morning.
What time did I wake up today?
Yeah. And everybody understands. All right, Chairman Gabe Johnson, P&F.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 3 items on the agenda, the first of which is the authorizing of the hiring of Miss Tony Gage for administrative specialist. And I'm not on my agenda. The motion is to authorize the hiring of Miss Tony Gage for the Administrative Specialist Administration Department at Step 1 of the Administrative Specialist Wage Grid per the IBEW Administrative Support Union Contract with an anticipated start date of April 28th, 2021, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Chairman Johnson, second by Chief Stunek. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Please proceed.
Thank you. The second item is informational. It's an update on the police chief eligibility list process. The Civil Service Commission did meet today, and they did open up internally for candidates. That will be open for internal candidates to submit letters of interest until April 29th. And the Civil Service Commission will be meeting on Monday, May 3rd to review the letters of interest and discuss the next steps forward. So there's the update on that.
You?
And the final item is to authorize the water access charge to be used on our water tank project. The motion is to authorize the use of $976,000 of the current funds in the water availability charge fund on the expansion of the groundwater storage tanks and the related backwash tank project, and further to authorize the transfers to the BPU fund, and I so move.
A motion by Johnson, second by Stengline. Any for Chairman Johnson?
So we charge water availability charges on construction projects, and we have $976,425.34 in that account. So it's using pretty much all of that money, but we're limited by law what we can use SAC or WAC money on, and this is an eligible project. It's a good project. It's gonna cost like $10 million, and this is $976,000, so it's a good start for the funding of the project.
Excellent. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Anything else?
End of
Chairman?
report.
That's it. Next up is item 9, unfinished business. 9A is the final reading of proposed ordinance number 1515, amending section 515-37, signs from the Code of Ordinances. Mr. Chansky, are you online with us?
I am, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anything you want to bring up?
No, Mr. President. Again, the council held the first reading of this proposed ordinance on April 5th. Looking for 2 actions this evening. The first is a motion to conduct the first reading actually, you should say second reading or final reading, not first. It should be final reading of proposed ordinance number 1515. If the council, it's a reminder, if the council does choose to vote to dispense with the actual reading of the ordinance, it does need to be a unanimous vote. And then upon conducting the final reading of the proposed ordinance, then have a motion to whether to adopt the proposed ordinance.
Okay. So the first time we're going to hold the final, we're going to look for a motion to conduct the, I believe it says first in our packet, but we did that already, correct? So this will be the second or final reading. And if you vote no, that means we're voting to read the thing. You can vote yes, and we'll skip right over to the adoption, and then if you don't like it, you could vote no.
Yeah, or you could vote no if you're concerned that your colleagues maybe don't understand what they're voting on. It will be read to them, correct?
Yeah, correct. Or you could vote no and just sit back and read, let it go. Okay, so we're looking for a motion to conduct the final reading of proposed ordinance number 1515, an ordinance amending section 515-37, signs of the Code of Ordinances, but dispense with the actual reading. Is there a motion?
So move. Second.
Motion by Erickson, second by Pritchett. Any discussion? Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I absolutely oppose this ordinance, but I will vote to dispense with the actual reading and then speak passionately against adopting the actual ordinance.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion, we have a second. This one we can vote by Yeah, a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Now we'll look on number 2, which is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 1515, an ordinance amending section 51537, signs of the Code of Ordinances. Is there a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 1515?
So move.
Motion by Erickson,
Second.
second by Pritchett. Any further discussion? Chairman Johnson.
I'm going to vote no on this one, Mr. Chair. And it's pretty simple. I think the First Amendment of the United States Constitution is pretty clear, and we shouldn't be regulating what people say on their own private property. I just think it's wrong. I don't think we should do it. I think it's immoral, unethical, un-American. So I think we should vote no and just eliminate the non-commercial speech language from the ordinance. Don't even address it. I don't like the idea of using government as a tool to cudgel your neighbor. It's like, I don't like what my neighbor is saying, so I'm just gonna call the big bad government to send them notices and fine them about their speech. I don't like it. I don't think it's friendly. I don't think it's what good governance is about. So I urge everybody to vote no on this. Let's revisit it and just get rid of the non-commercial speech language. I know our city attorney and some courts somewhere may say that it is legal and we can tell people what they can and can't say, but I still think that is un-American. And that's why I'm voting no. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You bet. Anybody else have anything to say on this ordinance? Mike O'Day.
I'm going to agree with Gabe. I think from the get-go, this started with some complaints about signs in people's yards that people simply didn't agree with. It didn't have anything to do with being a distraction. It didn't have anything to do with things being ugly. It was simply a message that they didn't agree with. And that's freedom of speech. I agree with freedom of speech. So I'm going to agree with Gabe on this. I don't know who else will, but that's where I'm going.
Okay. Tad Erickson.
Yeah, I'll chime in. I guess I'll just weigh in and say, I think this came back to the planning commission. We reworked it so that it wasn't, we can't, you're correct that we cannot infringe on free speech, but what we can limit is the number and the size. And I think that's what we were focusing on is, you can have your 2 flags and your 2 signs, and then come election times, you can have additional signs. So we tried to shy away from limiting free speech and the content. We can't touch the content of the signs, but only the number, placement, and size. And that's what we try to focus on. So I just try to provide a little clarification on it. And I'll be voting for it.
Okay. And yes, Chief Dunick.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with the 3 of them, but I'm totally about freedom of speech, so I will be voting no also.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Seeing none, Administrator Bergman, will you call the roll?
Stingline,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
O'Day,
No.
Stunek,
Nope.
Johnson,
No.
Pritchett,
Yes.
and Bevins.
Yes. That motion carries.
Bad day for the First Amendment.
Bad day. All right, we will move on to, have we heard from Mary Cope at all?
Mr. President?
Parliamentary inquiry here, yeah. I think we missed item number 8 on the agenda,
Hang on.
or what is typically item 8, the committee openings and whatnot.
Council Committee Reports is 8. That was Safety and Public Works.
Do we not have it on this agenda, maybe?
It's underneath.
We haven't got there yet.
B and C.
B and C. We're getting there.
Mr. President?
Just hold on.
Oh, all right.
You're kinda out of sorts tonight, Gabe, but do you need help?
Yeah, no.
No First Amendment thing kind of blew him off the rocks. Okay, Mr. Pritchett?
Wondering if we could have somebody please call Mary Cope, because it's very unlike her to be late or to miss a meeting.
Wow, isn't that the truth? Is that possible? Could, I don't.
I have, if you need a number, I've got it here.
Yeah, I have some concerns as well. She is not normally late.
Atypical for Mary. Here, I can give you this, you can just, I don't feel like saying her phone number over,
We could just all walk, why don't we all walk down there?
You can go in the front yard.
Okay, we are done with,
Everything.
that was 9A. We will go on to 9B, which is committee resignations. We have a resignation from Dale Parks on the Park Board and Merritt, is it Bouchier, on the Cable TV Advisory Committee. Is there a motion to accept those two resignations with regret? Motion by Stingline, second by Pritchett. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Item C is your call for applicants, Gabe.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just
I
hang
got there. I
tight.
just had to look at the agenda, yeah.
Okay. Under item C, we have the mayor recommending some spots. Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I tell you what, my eyes are getting a little old. I better put these on real quick. Call for applicants. Information is, of course, available at our website, www.ci.brainerd.mn.us. The mayor recommends the mayor has the following committees that he needs to fill: the Cable TV Advisory Committee, 1 term expiring 2021, 2 terms expiring 2022; Charter Commission, 1 term expiring 2022; the Park Board, 1 term expiring 2024; Rental Dwelling License Board of Appeal, great committee, 3 terms expiring 2022; the Transportation Advisory Committee, 1 term expiring 2022; and the Economic Development Authority, 1 term expiring 2021 and 1 term expiring 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and may I add, you looked awful cool saying that with those 70 shades.
I'll put them back on just for you.
And as council president, I have 1 position to fill Police and Fire Civil Service Commission, 1 term to expire in 2023. And there is 2 positions available on the Ad hoc Water Tower Committee. Item 10 is new business. Item 10A is the consideration of purchasing of banners for the sesquicentennial. This is Administrator Bergman.
Thank
Anything
you.
you want to bring up on this?
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the council. Just as a little bit of background and actually kind of a nice reminder to us too. March 8th, the council had a workshop, talked about the sesquicentennial. Mayor Bedeau and Alderwoman Stengline volunteered to represent the council in the discussions on the sesquicentennial moving forward. And then also Mary Devine Johnson from Visit Brainerd has volunteered her time and services and expertise as well. The group did identify the week of September 18th to the 25th as the week-long celebration. There are several events that are planned during that week, including a kickoff from the mayor with the proclamation, a time capsule event that will be sponsored by the chamber, a community picnic or some kind of event on the 25th by Brainerd Parks and Recs. There will be a sidewalk sale, history walk tours, a potential event at the Northern Pacific Center, and then also a production by Stage North. When the council met on the 8th, the discussion was there is some funds in the Special Projects Fund. And so the council said that they would be willing to make those funds available for sesquicentennial events. So the group did, our first request from the group is to purchase banners. We initially wanted to put 450 banners on our light poles across town. But as you can see from the quotes in your packet, that got to be rather expensive. We did get quotes from 3 different organizations, Minnesota Makerspace, Minnesota Tees, and Northern Lights Display. We did ask for a 4th, but they did not respond. So the low bid on this, we moved it down from 450 banners down to 250, and the low bid on that was $12,800 from Minnesota Makerspace. So our recommendation is to authorize staff to purchase these sesquicentennial banners from Minnesota Makerspace in the amount of $12,800. Also, the BPU Commission did agree to install these banners as a donation, no cost. And with that, Mr. Chair, Alderwoman Stengline and Mayor Bedeau are both here to answer any questions you may have as well.
Any questions on the issue of the banners for the sesquicentennial? Yes, Steve Pritchett.
I have a question. What's going to be done with the banners after the sesquicentennial? Because wouldn't that be a great fundraiser to allow people to bid on those?
I'm very glad that you asked that.
Can't save until the next one?
Our plan is
I
to,
only have one.
our plan is to sell the banners to individuals, and then once the event is over, we will have them packaged up and delivered to them or available for them to pick up. The goal would be to pre-sale them, and then any that are left over, keeping a handful in case something happens, we would also try and sell or potentially give to some community partners as well. So the issue with it is that pre-selling them could take some time, so we want to move forward with getting the purchase of them, and then the goal would be to sell them to offset and then potentially donate that money.
Excellent. Any other questions on the banners? I mean, just have the one, where does the 12.8 come from before?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It would come from the Special Projects Fund. There is budgeted $28,000. Typically, the council does provide $8,000 to fireworks, which leaves $20,000 in that fund, so the 12.8 could come from there.
Perfect. Chairman O'Day?
It sounds like there's about $8,000 more left over for fireworks.
Yeah.
Again.
Perfect.
But there's no Sasquatch on the banner.
Sasquatch.
You can just dress.
I just
more
wanted to
Rambo,
point that out.
What was
I like the logo, but there's no Sasquatch.
Mr. Bergman, did you raise your hand?
I did, but I'll speak after the mayor is done.
Oh, right.
Evidently, I'm just here for laughs, so joke about Sasquatches.
And what I would just like to point out, Mr. Chair, if you look on your screen and also in front of you, is the design for the banner that was done by Mayor Badeau. He put a lot of work into this. I know he shifted it from one to another, but it's beautiful. So
What we will say is that it took me way too long to realize that I didn't have to change the logo. We could just put some embellishments above and below it. So I would like to say that that took me 5 seconds. It took 5 seconds after I realized I was overthinking it and stopped spending 3 hours trying to figure out how to make 150 vertical.
Thank you. Chairman Johnson?
I guess I have one question for the mayor. Why blue and silver, the Brainerd Warrior colors, instead of blue and green, the city of Brainerd colors?
That's a fantastic question. It mainly just comes down to the way the logo looks. The first item that was actually used on there was within the one, both the Washington Street Bridge and the water tower, which obviously green does not work with those. So just from an artistic standpoint, going with the 3-color logo, the silver worked better than green.
Can I see your shirt, Kelly?
You can.
I think the green looks good by the water tower, I'm not gonna lie,
So we're gonna vote no on this one as
for
well?
a different reason.
It's okay, you can. All right. I think we've talked enough about the banners. We have a motion? Yes?
I will move that we authorize staff to purchase the sesquicentennial banners from Minnesota Makerspace in the amount of $12,800.
Second.
We have a motion by Stingline, second by Pritchett. Any further discussion? Gabe?
Mr. Chair, thank you. I am going to vote against the motion, regrettably. I support the purchase of the banners. I support using the council special projects fund to do so. I am defending the integrity of my committee with my no vote. This is absolutely an unbudgeted item that should go through personnel and finance and then come with a recommendation to the full council. When we spend the $8,000 a year for fireworks, it goes to the Personnel and Finance Committee, who makes recommendations to the full council on personnel and finance issues. This should have been in the Personnel and Finance Committee, therefore I'm voting no.
Excellent. Now we have a motion and a second. Is it really pertinent to this? I think we can vote without it. Then you can say what you have to say. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, this is a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Now, Jennifer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Alderman Johnson, Chair of Personnel and Finance, my sincerest apologies. You are correct. I should have put this on the Personnel and Finance agenda, and so my apologies. Thought of it as a sesquicentennial event and not as a finance, and my mistake and my apologies.
Well, thank you. We will move on now to item number 11, which is the public forum. This is the time allocated for citizens to bring matters not on the agenda to the attention of the council. Time limits may be opposed. Let's see if there's anybody up there. I'm not seeing anybody. Are you, no? Anybody, if you want to speak, what do you do?
Turn your camera on.
Yeah,
They're all on WebEx, so they just unmute themselves. They're not calling users?
okay. Yeah, turn your camera on. Or your microphone and tell us what's on your mind. Last chance for public forum. Going once, twice. Gone. Public forum is over. Item 12 is staff reports. Can you put those back up there, Sean? And then we'll go with the online first. I don't know who Jenny Hill is. David Chansky, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one item as a follow-up from last week and the Parking Commission's report to the council. The Parking Commission did meet last Thursday and they did consider the questions that they received from the city council. At this time, they're taking there's no action that they brought before the council for consideration tonight or answers. Instead, what they're doing, they're taking a little step back at this point. And they're going to be looking at an overall kind of strategic plan for the parking, really what should the goal look like in the next 5 years or so. And then moving forward, any recommendations that they're going to be considering or bringing before the council, they will be considering the questions that the council submitted and will have answers to those questions at that time. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, David. Chief Bestel, welcome aboard. Anything from the police department?
No, thank you, Mr. President. Nothing to add to my monthly report except for one item. Earlier, I think one meeting or 2 meetings ago, we talked about the approval to hire a CSO. Just kind of put it on the radar that we're looking for an opportunity with the city to utilize a potential Sourcewell police intern and working with HR on that, on a potential candidate, and should be looking for the next council meeting to be able to bring that forth to the council.
Thank you. Eric Charpentier from the HRA, anything to add?
No updates tonight. Thank you, Chair.
All right, I think that's all our staff that would have reports. Jenny Hill, are you here to give the library report? No, you're not. Okay, Connie Hillman's just shaking her head no. I just thought I would check to see if you were from the library. Here in the room, staff, Joe Langle, anything from the attorneys? No. Paul Sandy from the engineer?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So you guys have all seen probably in the newspaper and on Facebook that we'll be beginning our, all indications are that load restrictions will be coming off on April 26th. They're usually 2 weeks after the Metro lifts theirs. And so we are planning for a lot of construction projects to start around town. The most impactful will be Northwest 4th Street. We've had a few questions about it already, but the intersection of Jackson and 4th Street will be a hard closure. So that means that there will only be emergency vehicles allowed through there. The reason we did this was to get the roundabout constructed as quickly as we can. There's not a real good way to phase construction of a roundabout, and so the easiest way to do so and the least impactful for a short amount of time is to completely close it. That's what we're calling phase 1 of the construction. Phase 2 will be working south of that roundabout once it's opened up to traffic. So that'll be after the first week of June. So right now, April 26th, that is for a hard closure of the Jackson Street, Northwest 4th Street intersection. And folks up in the Northtown area should plan on using alternate routes to get to their destination.
Excellent.
Does my truck count as an emergency vehicle?
Siren on top.
Give me a break.
Along with that, one more thing, Mr.
Yes.
Chair, is at the next council meeting, you'll see we'll have some barricades up on the City Hall parking lot most likely, and that will also be getting resurfaced here in the next couple of weeks. So
Excellent.
be looking forward to that.
Thank you. Anything from the finance department, Connie?
The financial auditors have started their field work today. They will be in person starting tomorrow. They kind of started virtually today. So they always look for at least 1 or 2 council members to do an interview with, a fraud interview with. It usually takes about 10-15 minutes. So if there's any volunteers, otherwise we'll pick on the new people. So we'll see how it goes.
Thank you. Chris, anything from HR? Anything from IT, Sean? Anything from the administrator's office, Jennifer Bergman?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a couple of things. First of all, I did hand out a document to you. There is a number of community stakeholders in the Brainerd Lakes area that got together in the fall to develop a strategic supply plan to support childcare needs in our community, to support the workforce as well as our parents. The group, they surveyed about 279 individual parent participants, 37 employers, and then 34 child care providers. So what that document is before you is just the results of that survey. Bladek really has kind of led the charge on this, and as they're coming into their busy season, we're taking a hiatus. We are going to meet again in July to start talking about what this plan could be and how to put it together. The Initiative Foundation has allocated $10,000 towards this initiative. So I guess I just wanted to at least give you some background on this, and I would suggest, stay tuned if you have any comments on this data or what is before you. Mike Bjerknes from Bladek has asked if you, would provide any comments you have to him. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Couple of things that I continue to talk about. One is the franchise agreements. I just want to let you know we do continue to move forward. Attorney Langle and I are meeting on Wednesday to talk about both Charter and CTC's franchise agreement. We did get drafts back from both of them. Attorney Langle had some questions for staff. We did answer those. So again, we continue to move those franchise agreements forward. The Charter Commission also did meet on April 14th. They did have several recommendations for changes to the charter. Attorney Langle will be putting together an ordinance that we hope to have on your May 3rd agenda. That, just for a reminder, we had kind of round 1, which were those items that conflicted with state law. Round 2 are these items that are in the charter, but we don't necessarily do, such as the health board. The charter says we have a health board, but we don't actually have a health board. So those items will come before council in this next ordinance. Cable TV Advisory Committee is meeting tomorrow. We continue to talk about how to reinstate the PEG channel. So I think we'll have a pretty good conversation tomorrow with the Cable TV Advisory Committee. And that concludes my report, unless anybody has any questions of me.
I don't see any. Mr. Mayor, we'll take you first.
Wonderful. So I just have a few things to mention. We've got a couple of events coming up downtown. This weekend, I believe Saturday, will be the annual Downtown Golf event, which is a wonderful time when you can mini golf your way through our wonderful downtown establishments, maybe have a beverage or two, and have a good time. But a really fun one that's coming up is going to be the first annual Spring Fling event, which will be happening May 7th and 8th. So you're going to want to mark your calendars for that. Spring Fling will be an event downtown with our businesses on the 7th and 8th. And then just a reminder to anybody that has children that are interested in youth activities, the Brainerd Park and Rec Department is partnering with both the YMCA and Brainerd Community Ed for our youth programs this year. Non-competitive programs like T-ball are going through the YMCA, so you're going to want to contact them. And the competitive programs will be going through Brainerd Community Ed. And looking at their website just right now, it looks like those dates are coming up. So if you are interested in getting your children involved in those activities, now is the time to reach out, and those are the ways to do it. Brainerd Community Ed and the YMCA.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tiffany?
Nothing that can't wait.
All right, Chief Sunak?
All passed tonight?
Chairman Johnson?
3 things that can't wait. I attended the Parking Commission meeting, and David Chansky gave a good recap. They received our questions. Thank you to all the council members and mayors who got me questions. The They received the questions, they discussed them a little bit, but didn't really answer them. I told them to just keep those questions in mind. Anytime you come with a proposal, we're going to be asking those questions or something like it. So they kind of backed away from it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor, but it seems like they backed away from the recommendation of eliminating the BNSF lot for now. And they're gonna kind of take a different focus of try to figure out what parking should look like in Brainerd or downtown Brainerd in 10 years, 20 years, and then start working towards that goal. So I think that's where the parking commission is. So BNSF, we're paying monthly as long as they're not paying us late fees, and I think we can just continue to do that without any action. The acting police chief was there, and they talked parking enforcement, and I thought it was very interesting to learn that only about 1/3 of the parking tickets issued in the city of Brainerd are issued downtown in the core area there. So 2/3 of parking tickets are not downtown, and I would have assumed most tickets are downtown because that's the only place I ever get ticketed. But but I guess that's my experience. And then I've had some conversations with people in the community who are interested in the sesquicentennial and everything that's going on, and interested in Brainerd History Week and all that. And they've asked me if the city council is interested in putting together an ad hoc history committee in the city that would meet monthly and talk about history and maybe push forward these sesquicentennial type things or historic markers or whatnot. And so just tossing it out there for the rest of the council to kind of chew on for the next couple of weeks, maybe bring it back in May and see if we can formalize a committee, or maybe we're not interested. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. We'll go over here to Tad. Anything to add?
2 of my committees meet later this week, so not until then.
All right. Dave Pritchett?
Nothing to report.
Michael Day?
I just had a call or two about potholes, and it is pothole filling season, but it's kind of hard to do the pothole filling when it rains every day or it still snows. So just be patient. I know Paul Sandy and the road crew is on top of it, so.
Give us a call if you have a report for a
Yes.
specific pothole. We'll
I always give
get
the
it filled
city a
that
call.
same day.
We're gonna be naming potholes next. I can see that.
Pothole
we could save
McPotholeson.
some.
So Mike, was that a call for or against potholes?
It was a call against potholes.
That's 1 no from Mayor Darrell Olson.
Get a sticker for Paul's truck.
The only thing I have to add is if you haven't gone on the Brainerd Northside Residents Association Facebook page, Chuck Marone gave a presentation with the help of Kathleen Hermody and Kirsta Sukup. It was excellent on planning and parks, kind of in general and specifically Gregory Park. But Chuck always gives an excellent presentation, and it was really interesting, and it's still on Facebook, so you can access it until, I don't know if it ever disappears off Facebook. And that is the end of my report. Next up, we're gonna adjourn. How's that sound?
Have we heard from?
Excellent meeting.
She's good.
Okay, but you couldn't make it tonight.
She was expecting to be on the May 1st meeting.
Okay, we'll get her on. We got a motion by Johnson, second by O'Day. Any discussion on adjournment? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign.